you need to follow the rules related to the past tense. If you want to write any sentence in the future tense also, we have some rules in the English language. So by following those rules, you need to frame the sentence in any language. In the same way, in any programming language also, we have some rules. So that's why we can define the word programming language is set of the rules by following which we need to frame the sentences. Coming to the programming language, the each and every line in any programming language, the lines are called statements technically. So program is a collection of these statements, and every statement is used to give the instruction to the computer. Suppose if I write the code print hello, let us say. So print hello is a statement. And that print hello statement intention is I want to give you instruction to the computer to print hello. Okay, so this is the basic terminology. What is statement? What is instruction? What is program? What is programming language? So like Java is also one of the programming language. And other than that word programming language, it has some important features. Those are Java is high level programming language and it is object oriented programming language. And next, it supports the developers very important feature. The feature is Vora in short. So don't annotate, just listen. Vora means write once and read multiple times. 1 minute. Right. See, the feature is Vora. Okay. Write once, run anywhere. So you can write the program only one time and you can execute multiple times same program and anywhere you can execute that. So that is the feature of the Java we has. And high level means, so generally you can understand it in simple way. If the sentences or text is understood by the human beings easily, that is called high level language. Or in simple terms, we can say that if you use English related words, that is called high level language. Java is a high level programming language because the words we are using to write the code are very near to the English language. We can easily understand that. Okay. And then object oriented programming, we will discuss what is object, what is class, and what is the object oriented features provided by the Java coming to the in the coming sessions. But just remember the word Java is object oriented programming language as of now. Next. So it is secured programming language. So we can provide good security in the Java. To implement the security, some concepts are removed from the Java event. For example, pointers concept was removed from the Java to provide good security for the applications. Like this, the developers are trying to make this more secured programming language. Then, very simple point, very important point. Who developed Java? So the scientist's name is James Gosling. 1 minute, it's stuck up. Right. See, Java was developed by the company Sun Microsystem. The company name is Sun Microsystem in the year 1995. Okay, but of course now that is owned by the Oracle Corporation. But initially the language was developed by the company Sun Microsystem. And this Java was developed by a team. The main person in the team is James Gosling. Generally, he is treated as the father of the Java. The scientist name is James Gosling. He is the father of the Java. If we see the history of the Java, as we covered already just now, there was a team in that the main important team members are James Gosling, just now we covered. Other than that person, Mike Patrick, and other members also there in that particular team. And they started a project. The project name is Green Project. They started a project. The project name is Green Project. The intention of the project is to develop a software. With help of that software, they want to control the electrical devices, just like a set-top boxes. Okay, they want to control the televisions with help of the set-top boxes. They started this project in the year 1991. Okay, and in this process, they want to use a new programming language. So in that process only, James Gosling developed a new system independent or platform independent language, that is Java programming language. Actually, their intention is to develop a software that controls electronic devices. That is their main project. In that process, they developed this language, Java programming language. And why they give the name Java for this programming language? So Java is not an acronym. We don't have any full form for that Java. Java itself a name. And let me give few reasons why they use the word Java. Java is the name of the island in Indonesia. And so whenever the team, Gosling team working with that project, Green project, they used to take a coffee. The coffee beans name is Java beans. Okay, the beans brand name is Java beans. They feel that whenever they take that coffee, they get refreshed. That might be useful them to develop that software. That's why they want to keep that coffee cup and saucer as a icon for this newly developed programming language. That's why if you observe, whenever you are working with any Java, the icon for the Java software is coffee cup and saucer. So this is the reason why they give the symbol coffee cup and saucer as a icon for this newly developed programming language. And after developing that programming language, initially they give the name GreenTag, not Java. First name to that language was given is GreenTag, and the extension of the file is .gt. Some name .gt. You must save that file like that. After that, they renamed GreenTag to Oak. That language name was renamed from GreenTag to Oak. After that, also they face some problems with Oak because the Oak name is already registered by the other company, like Oak Technologies. So they face some legal problems. After that, again that language was renamed as Java. Actually, this is the third name for that language given by the Gosling. First name was GreenTag, second name was Oak, and finally the third name given as Java in the year of 1995. So this is a brief history about the Java programming language. Okay. Now, coming to the versions of the Java. So generally we use the word coming to the versions JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit. So in the year of 1995, they released JDK alpha and beta versions. Actually, those are unstable versions, just like testing versions. Generally, we may observe na, in the WhatsApp or in any softwares also, they introduce some features, testing purposes. If they worked fine, and the features will be available to the all users. In the same way, In the year of 1995, they released alpha and beta versions of the JDK. JDK stands for Java Development Kit, and that is unstable version. After refining that, they released a stable version of JDK, and they used the name 1.0 because that is the first stable version. JDK 1.0 was released in the year of 1996. Yeah. Any doubts, please?
No, sir.
Yeah. Right. I think no problems at my end. This is visible and my voice is also audible, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Srikant. Yeah. Next. So after releasing a 1.0 version, so many versions was released. Okay. So many features were added. So many features we have in the latest version, those were not in the 1.0. Gradually, they try to add more and more features. And finally, as and today, the latest version of the JDK is JDK 25. Okay, Java Development Kit 25 is the latest version. This was released in the September 2025, September 16th, 2025. This is the latest version, and this is LTS version. LTS means long term support. Okay, long term support means they maintain some features consistently. They that will not be updated very frequently. Probably the LTS versions will features introduced in the LTS versions, those won't be deleted at least up to 8 to 10 years. So any software company, they want to use these features in the LTS version, they can use because up to 8 to 10 years, those won't be deleted by the Oracle Corporation because it is owned by the Oracle Corporation now, JDK. So these are LTS versions. Other than LTS, that is non-LTS versions also there, but in that frequently features will be changed. Okay, some features were added in the six months. Two versions will be released in the year, 6 months for one version. Frequently, those might be removed and added. So that type of the softwares may not be suggestible to develop real-time projects. That's why generally companies give the priority for the LTSs. So JDK 25 is LTS version. So this is about a simple information about the Java and history and different versions. Next step is if you want to download and install Java, I think you may know the process, but anyway, let me show it. Just open any browser, type JDK free download because free versions are there and paid versions are also there. Just enter button. Observe here Oracle.com. As we covered just now, Oracle owns Java. So Java is the product of Oracle now. So this is the official website from where you can download the official editions of the Java. See Java 25. This is the latest version of the Java. Of course, previous versions, all the previous versions are also available. Depends on your requirement. Any version you can download, but 25 is the latest version. As I covered just now, observe here, this is the LTS, long-term support version. And coming to here, you can observe Linux, Mac OS, Windows. select your operating system, what you're using in your laptop or PC. So I'm using Windows. So click on Windows. Then you can click on any link, okay, because Microsoft installation process simply exe file. So very simple method is click on exe file that will be downloaded. Just double click on that and click next, next to OK, next. That's it. Very simple steps. Then the Java will be installed into your system. Okay. So this is the process how to download and install the Java. Then I have done that already. But after installation process, how to check whether Java is installed or not in your system? For that, open the run Windows R is the shortcut and type CMD here. CMD command prompt. CMD command. Click on OK. So this is the command prompt environment. Here, just to type Java C, Java compiler actually. Java C, then press enter button. So it shows the information about the Java compiler. If this information is displayed, you can understand that Java is available in your system. Java is installed into your system. If the Java is not installed in your system, when you using this command javac and press enter button, that will raise an error like javac is not recognized as any internal or external command. You will get that type of the error message. If it is installed, that will display the complete information about the Java compiler. Okay, this is the method to know whether Java is installed or not in your system. Okay, so as of now, we visited the website and download installation process and checking whether that was installed or not in your system. Now, next is features of the Java. This is very, very important topic. Okay, probably you may get this question also. Features of the Java or advantages of the Java. Two words are valid. You can use any word. Or sometimes you may use buzzwords. Java buzzwords. Java buzzword means also features of the Java. Simple terms. Right. Coming to the advantages or features of the Java. The primary goal of the Java programming language is to create a program that should be a simple programming language and platform independent or system independent, and that must provide good security. These are the main objectives of the James Gosling. Based on this, they try to develop this language, Java language. And as I said, these are the main objectives only. But other than these three also, we have so many features provided by the Java. And as I covered already, these features are also called Java buzzwords. Now, let us see what are the features, main features. Okay, one slide is not enough actually to display all the features of the Java. Just we are trying to understand the main features of the Java. Simple. Simple is also one of the advantage of the Java. Object oriented, platform independent or system independent. Portability, we will discuss these one by one. Interpreted language. Java has high performance and it supports multi-threading concept. We can develop distributed applications also with help of the Java. And memory management becomes easy with help of the Java. And it is architecture neutral. What is the meaning of the architecture neutral and what is the advantage of that? We will see that in the coming slides. Okay, these are the very important features of the Java. Now, first one is simple. Why we are using the word simple here is, if you have the knowledge about C language or C++ language, then it is easy to learn the Java for the developer. Suppose you are the developer, you know already C language, C++ also, let us say. Okay, then it becomes very easy to learn Java for those people. For you people, that is very easy because all the syntax rules are probably very near to the C and CPP programming languages. That's why it is very easy. That is the meaning of simple here. Okay, but don't think that Java is very simple compared to C++. No, that is wrong. This is bit difficult compared to the C CPP because it is a high level language and so many features are included in that. But if you know C CPP, it is easy to learn. In that way, that is simple. Then, to make the Java coding simple, the developers removed some complicated concepts from the Java. For example, explicit pointers. So this topic was removed from the Java to make Java simple. Actually, that is very complicated topic. If you know C, C++, the concept of the pointers in C, CPP, that is very bit difficult. Okay, so many people may feel that, students may feel that pointers concept is very difficult to understand and to remember the code also. Okay, of course, not only that reason, we have several reasons to remove that. And operator overloading, this is also one of the complicated topic. This is also was removed from the Java to make Java simple. And one more reason is also there to say Java is very simple programming language. If you consider C and C++ programming languages, we need to take care about the memory management. How much memory you need to allocate, how much memory you need to delete, how much memory you need to maintain to run a program. As a developer, you need to think about all these things. You must take care about the memory also. But it is somewhat difficult. It is burden on the programmer or developer. But coming to the Java, you no need to think about the memory management. Java will take care about that internally. For that, a concept is introduced in the Java called garbage collection. With help of the garbage collection, automatically the unnecessary objects, unused objects, or unreferenced objects will be removed. For that, you no need to write any extra code. You no need to think about the memory. Just you can focus on the logic of your project. The memory management also. That is programmer duty in C CPP, but in the Java, that will be taken care by the Java itself. Okay, so that is uh, also very important point here. With help of that, Java is also made simple. Next feature is object-oriented programming language. Object in this particular context. Okay, generally we use the words class and objects here. And what is class, what is object will be covered later on. But as of now, just remember we have the object-oriented features. That is one of the great feature of the Java. And let me give a simple line of the definition about the object. A object is anything that exists in the world. Okay. Object means anything that exists in the world. And class means collection of the similar behaviors. For example, uh, my class name is Bird, where bird is a collection of the similar behavior. Every bird has two legs, two wings, one beak, two eyes. Okay. By using these features, if I create a class, the class is a collection of the similar qualities of all the birds. Right? So that is class. A class is a collection of the objects of the same behavior. Every object represent each and every bird which exists physically. That's why I said the object is anything that exists in the world. Suppose parrot is a bird, dove is a bird. All are existed, right? So those are objects. And if I use the name just bird, that is a class. Dove is an object for the class bird. Eagle is a object for the class bird. Or in simple terms, general word, specific word. General word is a class, specific word is an object. Okay. Now, next feature is platform independent or system independent. So in this context, the word platform means hardware architecture plus software architecture of your system. That is called platform. For example, what is the operating system I am using at this moment in my system plus what is the processor I am using here. That is called platform. Platform is architecture of processor, architecture of the operating system. That is the meaning of platform in this context. So if you observe or if you have the idea about C and C++, those are platform dependent programming languages. Platform dependent means, suppose in this system, I executed a C program. If you copy that C code and if you paste that in the Linux operating system in another laptop or in another PC where you are using Linux operating system, that program may not get executed directly because that platform is different. Linux platform, I am using the platform Windows platform. So if you change the platform, the program may get errors. You may get problems. Any doubts as of now? Two participants raised hand
No, sir.
unexpectedly or
No
yeah.
doubt, sir.
So C, C++ are platform dependents. If you change the platform, same code won't be executed. That code might be raise errors. But coming to the Java, if I write the code in my Windows operating system, if I copy the same code and I'm trying to execute the same code in the Linux operating system, let us say, we don't get any errors because that is platform independent. That is not depending on any platform. That is the meaning of platform independent programming language or a system independent programming language. You can write in any platform, you can execute in any platform. That is not depending on the platforms. That is a platform independent feature. Java is platform independent programming language, where C, C++ are platform dependent programming languages. A Java programming language as a platform dependent, generally the researchers used one concept called bytecode. Okay, this is a Java source file, nothing but the code what we write, and we need to compile that. Compiler is a software component that is used to translate the code from high level to low level. High level means what is the code we are writing. Generally, that is called high level language. But machine cannot understand high level language. We know that. Machine can understand only binary language. Computer can understand zeros and ones only. The computer cannot understand C, CPP, Python, Java. Any language cannot be understood by the computer system. But how can we get the outputs? Because the source code, the Java source code or Python source code, whatever it might be, that should be converted into the machine understandable format with help of the translators. We have different type of the translators. The translator main work is convert high level to machine level. And compiler is one of the translator. Okay, compiler, interpreter, assembler. These are the three translators generally we use in the programming languages. And in the first step, when you are working with the Java programming, Java source code with help of the Java compiler will be converted into the bytecode. Bytecode is created in the file, separate file. That file is called class file. And remember, bytecode is not fully in the form of the machine code, not fully in the form of the high language. It is an intermediate code. Bytecode is intermediate code. And that is available in the class file and human cannot understand that, the bytecode. And if you copy this bytecode into any operating system, any platform, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, any platform, that bytecode will be executed directly without facing any errors. But for that, we need to maintain a separate software called JVM, Java Virtual Machine. With help of the Java Virtual Machine, you can execute this Java bytecode file without any errors. How to get this JVM? No need to install it separately. Just now I have shown to you how to download and install JDK. While you are installing the JDK, automatically JVM is also will be installed in your system. Okay. So with help of the JVM, this is the process how the Java make as a platform independent. Okay. So Java bytecode is machine independent. What is the meaning of that? You can copy this bytecode and run on any machine because that is machine independent. That is not created for a particular machine. That is created for all the machines, all the computer systems, all platforms. Okay, so that can be done on any machine, any computer system with help of the any operating system or any processor. So that is the meaning of platform independent. So this is very frequently asked question in the interviews as well as in the examinations also. Then next, portability. Very simple. Same program raises same output on different machines. Then you can say that that language has the feature portability. A simple example, you can use same mobile number, but you can change the network portability. You are using same number, but the network is different. But even though you can use the same number without facing any problems, even though the network is changed, that is the meaning of portability in that case. Here also same thing. Portability means same program. The same program give the same output in any operating system, in any processor. That is the meaning of portability here. So as we covered just now, Java is system independent. As Java is the system independent, so Java program can be executed in any platform and it gives the same output. That's why it becomes a portability language. Let us assume that if the Java is not system independent, we won't get this feature. This is a system independent. That's why it is portable. Next, interpreted. As I covered just now, we have three types of the translators in the programming languages domain. Those are compiler, interpreter, and assembler. So interpreter means Java is a interpreted language also. The meaning is Java uses interpreter internally. Of course, it uses compiler also. This is hybrid programming language. It uses compiler plus interpreter. Okay. So Java programs are compiled. After compilation, it generates the bytecode. I have shown to you just now in the previous slide. And that bytecode can be interpreted by the interpreter. The interpreter is available in JVM, where JVM is a part of JDK. Okay, let me repeat. First, we need to write the code that should be compiled first. What is compilation? The compilation is a process that is used to convert high-level code to machine understandable format. That is the main concept of the compilation. And in Java, when the Java source code means what is the code we write. The source code is compiled, a class file is generated. I have shown to you just now. See this. When the Java code is compiled by the compiler, a class file is generated. And I will show you that class file in the coming session. The class file contains a bytecode. Okay. Then that bytecode can be interpreted in the next step. The bytecode can be interpreted by the interpreter, where interpreter is also a software component. That is also a translator. that is also used to execute the code. The interpreter is used to execute the code line by line. That software component is available in JVM. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Then where JVM is available? In the JDK. Already we can download and install the JDK. Na? At that time, along with the JDK, JVM is also available with your system. Within the JVM, we have the interpreter. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah. Next feature. So all of you must remember these features. Very, very important concept for you people. Next, high performance. So the problem with the interpreter inside the JVM is that is very slow. Okay, as I said already, first source file will be compiled by the compiler, bytecode is generated, and within the JVM we have interpreter. And but the problem with the interpreter is very slow because the execution style of the interpreter is line by line execution. What's happening there? Yeah. So the interpreter has a slow speed. That's why we may not get the good performance in the Java. So after observing this, the Gosling team introduced one more component called JIT, J-I-T, JIT, just-in-time compiler. So with help of the JIT is used in the architecture of the JDK internally. This is also a software component. With help of the JIT, the Java performance will be improved. So Java has a good performance with help of the JIT. This is also one of the good feature of the Java. The next feature is multi-threading. Actually, this is one concept, and we can execute multiple threads. And in this context, the thread meaning is part of the process, where process is a program in execution is called process. For example, I want to watch a video in the YouTube, let us say. While we are watching that video, we can use the word that is being in processed. Okay, that is being processed by the YouTube server. Then we can watch that video. That is called process. A video which is being executed at this moment, that is called process. And to improve the performance internally, that process is still divided into some small parts. Those parts are called threads. More simple terms, a program or a task. Everything is called as a task. Playing the MP3 file, playing the video, see the image, opening the document, all are called tasks. Every task, while you are executing any task, that is called a process because being processed by the processor is called process. So at this moment, this PPT, uh, I opened this PPT. This PPT is being executing by the processor. Then only we can see this PPT. Now this PPT is a process because it is being processed by the processor. This is a process. Okay, internal. Now for the improvements of the performance, this process again divided into small parts. That part, simple part, smallest part is called thread. Okay, every program is divided into some process. And every process is furtherly divided into some smallest parts. That smallest part is called thread. Okay. Now we can execute more than one thread at a time. That is the concept of multi-threading concept. In CCPP, we don't have this concept multi-threading. Okay, so Java has the concept multi-threading, which is very useful to improve the performance of the any application. More frequently, this concept is used in the games, video games or animations. We can use multi-threading concept. Then next, okay, done. Yeah, ma. Right. Any doubts?
No, sir, no doubts.
Okay. Next feature, distributed. So we can access the Java programming, or you can access any Java application, or you can access any Java project from the different locations, from the different computer systems. So that is a concept of distributed. Java is a distributed programming language that is used to improve the performance. For example, I have four systems. Some code is available here, and so let us say I have one code is divided into four parts. First part is available here, second part is available here, third part and fourth part, and four systems. So while you're trying to executing, those four parts must be connected one with another three systems, and they can share the code and they can start the execution. So four processes are trying to executing in the parallelly in the same time simultaneously. That's why it is used to improve the performance. Okay, this is the concept of distributed programming concept. Java supports this concept. Due to this, we can improve the performance of the applications. So this is also a very wonderful feature provided by the Java. Then as I covered just now, for the memory management, as a developer, you need to take care about in C++. But coming to the Java, you no need to take care about the memory management. That will be taken care by the Java itself with help of the JVM. JVM runs a program that is called garbage collection. With help of the garbage collection, automatically unused variables, unused objects will be identified and removed from the memory. So this is how Java maintains the memory. Okay, this is also one of the advantages of that. Then architecture neutral. If you have any idea about C++, if anyone asks you how many bytes of the memory is required to store integer value in C language, there is no fixed answer for that question actually. That depends on the compiler architecture or operating system architecture. If you use 32-bit architecture in C language, we are talking about C language. If you are using 32-bit architecture, the integer takes 2 bytes of the memory in your system. If you are using 64-bit operating system, the integer value takes 4 bytes of the memory. So there is no fixed answer. But coming to the Java, if you ask the same question, how many bytes of the memory is needed to store integer value, we have the fixed answer, that is 4 bytes of the memory is required. Why this is happened? Why there is no fixed answer in C? Why we have the fixed answer in Java? Because C is architecture dependent. Depending on the architecture of the operating system, number of the bytes required to store integer values will be varied. But coming to the Java, it is platform dependent as I covered just now. It is architecture dependent. It is not depending on the OS architecture. It is not depending on processor architecture. That's why it is architecture neutral. Whatever the architecture you are using, it takes 4 bytes of the memory for the integer. This is also very good feature in Java. Okay. So these are the features. We cover probably more and more features. The main intention is at the time of the examination, if you forget one or two also remaining, you can write, you will get good marks if we cover more features. That is the intention, to cover more features here. Okay. But any programming language, any technology you observe, even though that has n number of the features, but at the other side, that may have the disadvantages also. There is no any technology without disadvantages. Every technology have plus and minus, pros and cons, that is common. Coming to the major disadvantages we observed in Java is memory. Memory meaning is it takes more memory. That is the problem. Okay, while working with any project, if you are using Java programming language, that takes more memory. If you compare CCPP, C and C++ languages, it takes more memory. That is one problem. And slow, as I said just now, as compared to the C and C++, this is bit slower because the architecture is very huge. In C, C++, very lightweight architecture, but Java architecture is huge architecture it has. Different type of the translator it has within the JVM. That's why it takes more time when compared to the CCPP. That's why it is slower. Poor graphical user interface. So I think you know that GUI means graphical user interface. For example, if you want to log in into the Gmail, we have the interface now. Interface is like enter your username, enter your password, and we need to click on login button. That is called interface with which we are interacting. That is called interface technically. And here we are using graphical notations. One text box, submit button, and label, enter your password, enter your username. Those are called labels technically. So that environment is called graphical user interface. So if you want to develop such a type of the graphical user interface with help of the Java, we may not create a rich interface because that type of the functions not sufficiently available in the Java. That is also one of the drawback in Java. Of course, even though we have the concepts like AWT, abstract window toolkit, and Sphinx concept, even though that is not up to the mark. Okay, that's why it has a poor GUI facilities. And one more very important is this is not a free software. Okay, of course, what I shown to you just now, download and install, that is free software, that is free version. But suppose if you have where is yes. No. So this is about freeware. So this is not a freeware. Freeware means generally the meaning of the freeware is uh, no need to pay the money. But what are the versions we are used? Those are free versions. But if you have the company, you are working with the real-time projects, you need to purchase legal version. This is not fully freeware. Then that's it. These are the disadvantages. Yeah. Any doubts? Any doubts in this session?
No, sir. No doubt, sir.
Nothing, sir.
Yeah. So one more thing, see this. Open the browser and search with Java by Shravan Kumar Kurra. So this is my channel only. So already we covered so many points as of now. Still, if you want to learn more than that, the course is available. If you have the time, just go through it. Okay, we cover in this session introduction part, advantages and disadvantages. I have shown to you how to download and install also. Okay, so in the next session, I will show you how to execute Java program, and we will see few points about what is JDK, JRE, JVM. After that, we'll go for the one more important concept, like what is data type, types of the data types in that in Java, and operator, different types of the operators in that. Those are very useful to you for the examination point of view also. Okay, so we will cover in the next session, that is tomorrow's session. So what we covered in today's session, so who developed Java? James Gosling. After that, we cover different versions of the Java. Latest version is 25, JDK 25. And why they give the name Java? Because they used a coffee brand, and island name is also Java. And the first name given to the language is GreenTag. After that, they renamed as Oak, and after that, they use the name Java. Okay, these are we covered in the first introductory part. Just let me summarize this session. In the second part, we discussed advantages and disadvantages of the Java. From the advantages, we covered few of the advantages like simple. Why this is simple? Because if you know, the learning process is very easy, because the syntax is very similar to the C and CPP languages. And object-oriented programming language Java, it supports all the object-oriented features. Platform independent or system independent, you can execute same code in the different operating systems. Portability, same result in different systems. Interpreted, it use interpreter internally. And high performance, it use JIT compiler to improve the performance. Multi-threading, every program is divided into process. Process is furtherly divided into threading, that is used to improve the performance. Distributed, same code, same project, or one Java project can access the another Java project code also. That is distributed concept. Memory management, garbage collection concept we have. With help of that, memory is managed efficiently in the Java. Architecture neutral, this is platform independent. It is not depending on any architecture of the operating system or architecture of the processor. Okay, so these we covered in this session. And if you have any doubts, make a note about your doubt. You can ask me in the next session even. Or if you have any doubts in this session, you can ask now also.
Sir, can you once display 20-second slide?
20-second slide.
Yes.
1 minute. Yeah, ma. Poor GUI. One of the disadvantages of the Java is poor GUI. It has a poor graphical user interface facilities. But it doesn't mean we cannot develop GUI. We can develop the GUI, but not up to the mark, not rich GUI.
Okay.
Okay, na?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Still any clarifications are needed? You can. So all are available. Problems, or if you're not understanding any topic, you can ask me in the tomorrow session. I will give the clarifications for that. Yeah, I think there is no doubts.
No, sir, no doubts.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. And go to that link and watch it once again and try to learn the skills about those particular concepts. Okay. Right.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You need a YouTube.